So how do you form unbreakable self-confidence? This is episode 2 in a series of 3 in the playlist of Self-Confidence 101. And this one is, how can you get to the other side? Number 1, it's patience. It's setbacks. That's right. We're going to talk about setbacks today. Setbacks create comebacks. You can't have a comeback if you're just here, right? Perfectionism and high expectations, unrealistic expectations are, okay, I'm going to start this journey. Wow, it's going well. Okay, it's a little bump, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. That's not how it's going to work. Your self-confidence will never happen unless you fall frequently. If you cannot embrace a setback, you are never going to take a risk, right? You may have setbacks where you're like, oh my God, I just lost a lot of money on that. I invested time in something that I thought was going to be successful, quick fixes, right? Fast money. And it didn't work out. I'm out $50,000. Okay, well, it kind of sucks, right? So you could wallow in being out $50,000. Of course, it's going to be problematic for anybody. But if you live there and keep going, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I'm so stupid. I can't believe. No, you have a setback. So now what you do, this is how self-confidence comes into play. You're not going to say, I make stupid decisions. You're going to have to watch that dialogue. Oh my God, you're going to have to watch that dialogue. We'll talk more about that in the next video. But that inner voice that tells you how horrible you are and how you'll never do it. And by the way, that's not even your voice. That's not your voice. That's somebody else's voice that you adopted as your own. You're listening to someone who had unhealed trauma that helped raise us, and you're going, this is factual. It is not factual. Okay? It's not factual. So when you look at it, instead of saying, I suck and I'm stupid because I lost $50,000, you look at it. You come back, bird's eye view, right? You're in it. So don't stay in the buildings and go, oh my God, these buildings are so big. Pull back and you realize the buildings in a big scope are smaller, right? So you look at it and you say, okay, what did I do that created an environment that I made this decision? Now, sometimes people are just super charismatic. You're not stupid because you fell for the narcissist. You're not stupid because you jumped into this business venture. You're not stupid. You may have had a grandiose idea. You may have had an expectation of fast, like fast money, fast relationships. That's lack of self-confidence. Okay, so when you have self-confidence, this is, all right, well, I'm going to have to be patient. Oh God, patience is a massive part of self-confidence because you're like, okay, this isn't like working as fast as I wanted it to. So, self-confidence says, it's okay, I'm in it for the long haul. Now, back to that example of the $50,000, you say, okay, it sucks. I took it out of my retirement. I got you, but we can't live there. So you say, okay, well, maybe I didn't have my lawyer look at this document. Maybe I was so enamored with the fact of putting in $50,000 and getting $150,000 by the end of the year. That was my allure. I was looking for a fast money fix. I was looking for that. You don't judge that. You just go, okay, what could I do differently? Well, no matter how pretty it looks, no matter how shiny the penny, pump your brakes. Pull back and say, okay, I'm going to change this. That setback gives you confidence on your comeback. Now, we don't go into paranoia. We don't go, well, I'm never going to invest in property again. I'm never going to, That's all or nothing thinking. And that's the opposite of self-confidence. Self-confidence says, that kind of sucked. But what did I learn? You also have to embrace your weaknesses as much as you do your strengths. If we solely focus on strengths, you'll never improve. And it's funny, I think of this story. My husband talks to my son about it a lot. He's almost 28. And when he was in Little League, not Little League, but in Pee Wee football, he was good as a wide receiver, great at catching the ball. Not so great at certain agility, right? He was good, not great. So my husband would say, all right, let's go out and work on agility. And my son would say, I want to work on catching. And he'd be like, you're fine with catching. We can do it for 5 minutes, but we're going to focus here. My son hated to do that. But because he focused more on his weaknesses and didn't stress about it, he was able to really build in it. He didn't like it because he wasn't good at it. So what you got to stop doing is going, I'm good at this. So if you're good at being a mom, if you're good at being a lawyer, if you're good at being a wife, a husband, whomever else, a partner, don't focus there. Don't focus there. And you can't also wrap your identity into other people. So self-confidence says everybody's temporary. Everything, myself, you, everybody's temporary. Everything is temporary. Things are going to come and go. It says, I am able to go through this. My resilience, my perseverance is able to push through this. And I'm allowed to feel upset. I'm allowed to feel sad. I'm not allowed to live there. Okay? I can't sit there and just keep licking my wounds. It's not going to help. It's going to keep it raw. Right? I'll give you an example of that. If you live in the I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm stupid. Why did I make those decisions? Think of a dog paw that's got like yeast and stuff on it. You can't really see it, but it's there. And the dog will just keep licking because it itches, right? You lick. It's not helping it. It's keeping it open. It's keeping it raw. It's doing that instead of pulling back, fixing it by like, getting the owner, of course, getting this stuff that you can soak the paw in, and it takes time to heal it. And it's about keeping the licking away. It's the same thing. Stop going back into this and trying to figure out why you did this, how stupid, and now I've lost my $50,000. If you focus on your setbacks, you're going to live there. If you judge your setbacks, you're going to live there. If you hear somebody's voice that says, I told you so, and you literally say, you're right, I'm so dumb, well, that's not going to work. If you can't rise above a setback and you're listening to too many people, which is also why in the first video I said keep things quiet. A lot of times people don't even know that you're having a setback. And by the way, people do not think of you, me, or anybody else nearly as much as you think they do. No one really cares. Everybody's out living their life. If somebody is that focused on your mishaps and are that judgy, they are vastly ignoring something of their own. Vastly. If you're comparing yourself, you're not focusing on you. You're not focusing on, okay, well, what are my weaknesses? I love my weaknesses because that means I got to grow. So if you're going to judge that weakness, if you're going to judge it, you are not confident. Okay? Confidence is humble. Confidence is like, well, I screwed that up, but let's do it again. So I want you to embrace it. And here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. I want you to write down 3 weaknesses, not judgy weaknesses like, I can't let go of relationships. No. What are your weaknesses? What are your real weaknesses? And I want you to look at them. And while you're writing them down, ask yourself, am I judging this? Am I saying I should? If you say should, could, or would, I should do this. I would do this. Okay. We're not going to do that. So if you do that, you know that that's an insecurity and that's your weakness. Can insecurity be a weakness? Sure, it can. It can be a weakness, but I just want you to be careful. When I say weakness, it doesn't mean that you're less than. You say weakness, it says this is what I need to work on. So if it's insecurity, if that's one of your weaknesses, great. If you feel like you're too empathetic and you're trying to fix everybody, can that be a weakness? Yes, it can. Yes, it can, but you don't get to judge it. So when you write it down, then I want you to pull back from it. So you write down 3 things, take your time, patience, and you say, okay, what can I do to work on it? Maybe it's booking a session with me. Maybe it's booking a session with somebody. Maybe it's taking a step back from a relationship. Whatever it is, you got to be willing to do it so you can create that to go forward. Weaknesses are not setbacks. They're stepping stones to get you to where you want to be. We could all do things when we're happy. We can all do things that are in our wheelhouse. Okay? You have to be careful of going with the comfortability. When you are comfortable, you cannot have setbacks. If you cannot have setbacks, you will never have comebacks. All right? So you have to embrace that. And I want you to really focus on it. I'd love to know in the comments, like, what are some of your weaknesses? Be open to it. Embrace it. Love it. Because those weaknesses are showing you how you can grow. It's creating a growth mindset for you. It's literally you're holding the power within your weaknesses. Your self-confidence comes from your weaknesses, not just your strengths. Right? And so when you look at it that way, that's called a mindset shift. That's called a cognitive shift in how you see your life. And when you do that, it's going to breed self-confidence. And like I said, do the things that you are afraid of. Do it scared. Make the decision. 2 opportunities. One's easy. One's risky. Do that one. Oh, this one's comfortable. No, we're not doing that. Get out of the comfort zone. So if you find yourself doing that, yes, that can be a weakness. don't judge it. All right. And as you do that, you're going to find that you're going to develop more confidence, and you're also not going to hear so much chatter in your head like you had before. So those are 2 so far videos that are going to really help you, but you have to be willing to embrace it. You have to be willing to do the work. I could give you the tools and the secret to life today, and it only makes a difference if you're willing to be uncomfortable.